Ladies and gentlemen, imagine you are walking down the street and someone asks, "What do you do?" Without hesitation, you might answer with your job title, your profession, or your daily activities. But have you ever wondered what lies beneath that question, or more importantly, what your answer reveals about you? When we talk about the power of identity and energy, it is essential to understand that the way you perceive yourself directly influences the world around you. The process of self-definition can shape your reality in profound ways. Most people define themselves based on what they do, whether it's their job, their role in society, or their daily activities. However, what if we've been getting it wrong all along? What if who you truly are has nothing to do with what you do, but with how you feel and the energy you emit into the world? Every person is a dynamic being, constantly evolving. However, the way you define yourself through external labels often restricts this natural evolution. When you say, "I am a doctor," or "I am a teacher," what you're really doing is tying your identity to something that is limited by time, space, and external circumstances. While these roles are valid and important in the context of your life, they do not define the entirety of who you are. The deeper truth is that you are not confined to a job, a career, or any particular set of actions. You are an energy, and energy is limitless. Consider this: every moment of your life is an opportunity for you to tap into a higher version of yourself. But if you define yourself strictly by what you do, you can become trapped in a pattern that stifles personal growth. You are more than just the sum of your actions. In fact, your thoughts and feelings are more powerful than the actions you take. They create an energetic field around you, and this energy is the true reflection of your identity. Let's take a moment to look at how the energy you project influences your environment. Every thought, every emotion, and every action you take sends a vibration into the world. This vibration can attract similar energies. If you are constantly focused on your job or your responsibilities, you might unknowingly limit yourself to a specific set of outcomes. But if you begin to focus on who you are in your essence, on your energy, you open yourself to a far greater range of possibilities. Think about how often people limit themselves by defining their potential based on what they do. If you believe that you are only as good as the work you produce, you are chaining your self-worth to external outcomes. This is where most people find themselves in a constant cycle of stress, burnout, and dissatisfaction. They define their value by their accomplishments or lack thereof. This external framework of success often leads to a fragile sense of self because, at the core, the belief is that your worth is tied to external validation rather than your true inner essence. On the flip side, when you focus on the energy you are cultivating, your thoughts, your intentions, your emotions, you allow yourself to connect to a far more powerful source of potential. By aligning your energy with your higher self, you are no longer limited by external conditions. You begin to operate from a place of infinite possibility, unbounded by what you do. Your energy will guide your actions in a way that feels effortless and aligned, rather than forced or based on expectation. In this state, success is not a result of what you've achieved, but of how you've shown up in the world. To truly understand this power, we must first recognize that everything is energy. You are energy, the people around you are energy, and everything in the world vibrates at a particular frequency. When you start to focus less on what you do and more on the energy you are emitting, you open yourself to more authentic connections, greater opportunities, and a life filled with purpose. By shifting your attention from external actions to the internal energy you project, you begin to move beyond the limitations imposed by society, by family, or by any external definition of success. The moment you detach from the notion of doing and embrace the truth of being, you tap into an energy that is far more powerful than anything you could ever achieve by simply following the same routines or conforming to societal expectations. Instead of identifying yourself by a profession or a task, you start identifying with your true essence, the energy of who you are at your core. This doesn't mean that what you do is unimportant. Your actions are still a reflection of the energy you carry. But it means that the external actions are no longer the driver of your life. You become the creator of your experiences, not a passive participant bound by the labels you've been given or that you've adopted. The more you connect with your energy, your true self, the more powerful your actions become. The more in alignment you are with your true essence, the greater the opportunities, the growth, and the expansion in your life. When you realize that your identity is more than just what you do, you free yourself from the restrictions that come with that narrow focus. You allow your true self to shine, and as a result, you begin to see a completely different reality unfold before you. The energy you emit shifts, and with that shift comes a transformation in every aspect of your life, from your career to your relationships, your health, and your sense of purpose. By understanding the power of your identity and energy, you can begin to shift the narrative of your life from I am what I do to I am the energy I bring into the world. This understanding is key to unlocking a limitless, empowered existence. The law of attraction teaches us that our thoughts and emotions are not simply internal experiences, they are the energy that we project into the world, and that energy attracts similar vibrations. When we focus on what we do rather than who we are, we limit ourselves to the specific roles and outcomes that our actions create. What we fail to realize is that the true power lies not in the external task or role, but in the energy we carry within ourselves. This energy is what truly determines our experiences and the opportunities that come our way. In essence, the energy you focus on becomes the energy that the universe mirrors back to you. When you are constantly focusing on what you do, your job, your responsibilities, or your daily routines, you narrow your scope of possibility. You become entangled in the details of the task at hand, sometimes losing sight of the bigger picture. By attaching your identity and value to external actions, you limit the infinite potential that comes from aligning with a broader vision of yourself. But when you shift your focus to the energy you're putting out, your inner state of being, you begin to operate from a place of greater alignment, opening yourself to the vast array of possibilities that exist beyond your current circumstances. Think about how often people get caught up in their daily routines, thinking that success comes from completing tasks or following a prescribed path. While action is important, it is the energy behind those actions that shapes their outcome. When you focus only on doing, you are essentially aligning with the doing energy of the universe, energy that is specific, rigid, and often limited. However, when you focus on being, you shift to an energy that is fluid, expansive, and limitless. This shift allows you to begin attracting not just opportunities, but also people, experiences, and circumstances that are aligned with the highest version of yourself. The law of attraction operates through the principle of resonance. Just as a tuning fork vibrates at a particular frequency and attracts objects that resonate at the same frequency, the energy you emit through your thoughts and emotions resonates with the world around you. If you focus on a specific task or action, that task will be the dominant energy you put out, and you will attract experiences that mirror that same narrow focus. On the other hand, when you focus on the energy of possibility, of openness, of expansion, you draw experiences that align with those same qualities. In other words, your focus and energy act like a magnet, pulling in the people and situations that resonate with your inner vibration. It's important to recognize that energy is not limited by physical space or time. When you focus on expanding your inner energy by cultivating feelings of gratitude, joy, and possibility, you transcend the limitations of your external circumstances. You stop thinking of yourself as limited to a job, a location, or a role. Instead, you begin to realize that you are a dynamic, ever-evolving being with the power to create the life you want from the energy you put into it. One of the common misconceptions about the law of attraction is that it only applies to specific things like manifesting material possessions or certain outcomes. But the truth is, the law of attraction is always at play, whether we realize it or not. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, and every action you take sends out a signal to the universe. This signal doesn't just affect one area of your life, it influences everything. If you constantly focus on tasks or duties, your energy will draw more tasks and responsibilities to you, perhaps to the point where you feel overwhelmed and stuck. But if you shift your focus to your own energy, if you start to align with a higher vibration, you begin to attract more expansive and fulfilling experiences. You start to notice opportunities where there were once obstacles, and you begin to move toward the things that truly matter to you. The power of the law of attraction lies in the energy of your thoughts and emotions, not in the specific actions you take. This is why it's so important to focus not on what you do, but on the energy that you bring to everything you do. When you operate from a place of inner peace, joy, and confidence, the world around you begins to reflect that energy. Doors open that you never expected, relationships deepen, and opportunities that once seemed out of reach suddenly become attainable. To fully embrace the law of attraction, you must realize that it's not about forcing outcomes or controlling situations. Instead, it's about aligning your energy with the highest potential of what you could experience. When you focus on being the best version of yourself, the world mirrors that back to you, attracting experiences, people, and opportunities that match the energy you've chosen to embody. The universe doesn't respond to what you do, it responds to who you are and the energy you put out into the world. This understanding shifts the way we approach success. Instead of chasing after external markers of achievement, we begin to realize that true success comes from the energy we embody. As we shift our internal energy, we begin to see that the outer world aligns with our inner state of being, and that is where the real magic of the law of attraction unfolds. The danger of seeking external validation is one of the most significant barriers to personal growth and self-realization. Many people, perhaps without even realizing it, base their self-worth on how others perceive them or on the recognition they receive for their actions. This dependence on external approval creates a fragile sense of self, one that is vulnerable to the opinions, judgments, and expectations of others. The issue with this is that the external world is constantly changing. What others think of you today might not be the same tomorrow. If your sense of self is based on these fluctuating opinions, it becomes incredibly difficult to maintain a sense of inner peace and self-assurance. Seeking validation from the outside world often leads to a cycle of never feeling enough. No matter how much praise or recognition you receive, it never fully satisfies you because the validation is not coming from within. It's like trying to fill a cup that has a hole in it. No matter how much you pour into it, it will never be full. The truth is that no amount of external recognition can make you feel whole if you haven't learned to validate yourself first. External validation may feel good in the moment, but it's fleeting. It doesn't provide the lasting fulfillment or sense of security that comes from within. When you are constantly seeking approval from others, you become less connected to your true self and more focused on how you are perceived. This can prevent you from truly pursuing your passions and living authentically. You may find yourself making decisions based on what others think is best for you, rather than what feels true and right for you. For instance, you might take a job you don't enjoy because it earns you respect or admiration from others, or you may put off following a dream because it doesn't fit into the expectations of your family or society. In these cases, you are allowing others' perceptions to define your choices, which can lead to dissatisfaction and a sense of emptiness. The problem with seeking validation from others is that it often keeps you stuck in a cycle of comparison. You constantly measure your worth against that of others, and this can lead to feelings of inadequacy, competition, or even jealousy. You may find yourself wondering why someone else's life seems to be more successful, or why they seem happier or more fulfilled. The truth is, everyone's journey is different, and comparing yourself to others only serves to disconnect you from your own path. The more you seek validation from others, the more you lose sight of your unique journey and the qualities that make you special. To break free from this cycle, it is essential to cultivate a sense of self-worth that comes from within. When you no longer rely on external validation, you create a foundation for personal growth that is stable, grounded, and true to who you are. This doesn't mean that you stop caring about the opinions of others or that you become indifferent to feedback. It simply means that you no longer base your sense of self on those opinions. Instead of asking, "What do others think of me?" you begin asking, "What do I think of myself?" By turning inward, you empower yourself to define your own value and to align your actions with your true purpose rather than with the expectations of others. Developing this self-validation begins with self-awareness. It's about learning to listen to your inner voice, recognizing your strengths, and accepting your weaknesses without judgment. When you can embrace who you are, flaws and all, you no longer need to seek approval from others to feel good about yourself. You begin to operate from a place of self-respect and confidence, knowing that your worth is not determined by someone else's opinion of you. This inner validation also means learning to trust yourself and your decisions. When you stop looking outside of yourself for confirmation, you begin to trust your instincts and your intuition. You no longer need the approval of others to feel confident in your choices. You start making decisions that align with your values and your desires, even if they don't conform to societal expectations. This shift in mindset allows you to live authentically and make choices that reflect your true self, not a version of you created to please others. Another aspect of breaking free from external validation is letting go of the need to control how others perceive you. It's important to realize that you cannot control other people's thoughts or judgments. No matter how much effort you put into pleasing others, their perception of you will always be out of your control. By releasing the need to control others' perceptions, you free yourself from the burden of constantly trying to measure up to external standards. You can focus on your own growth, on aligning with your inner truth, and on being the best version of yourself without worrying about what others think. The most powerful validation you can receive comes from within. It's when you learn to validate yourself, to honor your journey, and to trust your worth without needing anyone else's approval. This is when true freedom arises. You no longer feel bound by the expectations of others, and you begin to live authentically, embracing all that you are. The more you cultivate this inner validation, the more you attract people and experiences that reflect that self-assurance and authenticity. And the more you align with your true self, the more fulfilled and empowered you become. Self-transformation through conscious awareness is a process of awakening to your true potential by becoming aware of your thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. Every action, every thought, every emotion shapes the reality you experience, and the more conscious you become of these inner workings, the more power you have to transform your life. Most people go through life on autopilot, reacting to situations, letting their habits and conditioning dictate their actions without considering their deeper motivations. This automatic mode is driven by unconscious patterns that may no longer serve your growth or align with the person you are becoming. When you begin to cultivate conscious awareness, you take control of the narrative of your life. You no longer allow circumstances, other people, or past experiences to define who you are or how you react. Instead, you choose how to respond to the world around you from a place of mindfulness and inner awareness. This shift is liberating because it means that you are no longer a passive participant in your life. You become an active creator, fully aware of the impact of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors on your external reality. The first step in this transformation is awareness itself. It's about becoming aware of your thoughts and how they shape your perception of the world. For example, if you find yourself constantly thinking, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough," you are reinforcing a belief that limits your potential. These thoughts become part of your inner dialogue and they influence your actions. Over time, they create a mental framework that shapes your reality. But when you bring awareness to these thoughts and recognize them for what they are, simply beliefs that you've been conditioned to hold, you can begin to challenge and change them. Instead of automatically accepting these limiting thoughts as truths, you begin to reframe them, replacing them with empowering beliefs that support your growth. Conscious awareness also extends to your emotions. Many people are unaware of how much their emotions affect their decision-making and behaviors. Emotions can be powerful motivators, but when you are not fully aware of them, they can control you. For example, if you're feeling anxious about a new opportunity, that anxiety may prevent you from taking action. However, when you become conscious of this emotion, you can observe it without being ruled by it. You can choose how to respond, instead of letting your feelings dictate your actions. This awareness gives you the ability to create space between your emotions and your behavior, allowing you to act from a place of clarity and intention rather than fear or impulse. One of the most transformative aspects of conscious awareness is the ability to recognize and break free from old patterns and habits. Everyone has unconscious patterns, ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving that were formed in childhood or through past experiences. These patterns may have been useful at one point in your life, but they no longer serve your growth or support the life you want to create. For example, you may have a habit of procrastinating because you associate doing difficult tasks with feelings of inadequacy or fear of failure. When you bring awareness to this habit, you can see that it is not who you are at your core, it is simply a pattern you've learned. Once you recognize this, you have the power to choose a new behavior. Instead of letting the habit of procrastination control you, you can take small steps to change it, consciously choosing to act in alignment with your goals and desires. Through self-awareness, you also begin to see the connection between your inner world and the outer world. You realize that your thoughts, emotions, and actions are not isolated, they are interwoven with everything around you. This realization helps you understand the law of attraction more deeply. As you shift your internal state, your external circumstances begin to shift as well. When you begin to consciously choose thoughts that empower you, emotions that uplift you, and actions that align with your true purpose, you start to attract people, experiences, and opportunities that reflect this higher state of being. Your inner transformation leads to an outer transformation. Another critical aspect of conscious awareness is recognizing your true desires and values. Many people go through life chasing goals or pursuing paths that are not truly in alignment with who they are. They may choose careers, relationships, or lifestyles based on what they think they should do, or based on external expectations rather than what feels authentic to them. Conscious awareness helps you connect with your true self, revealing what you truly want and what will bring you fulfillment. By paying attention to your desires and values, you begin to make choices that are aligned with your deepest needs rather than simply conforming to external standards or societal pressures. Once you have this awareness, the process of transformation can begin. You start to make more intentional choices, moving toward the life that you desire. It's not about forcing change or striving for perfection, but about becoming more conscious of each moment and choosing to act from a place of authenticity. This kind of self-transformation is deeply empowering because it's not based on external factors or validation. It comes from an internal recognition of your own worth, your own desires, and your own potential. Self-transformation through conscious awareness is not a destination, it is a continuous journey of growth and evolution. As you become more aware of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, you continuously refine and align yourself with the highest version of who you are. Each moment becomes an opportunity to choose differently, to step into a higher state of being, and to create a reality that reflects your true essence. The more you practice this awareness, the more effortless and natural it becomes to make choices that support your growth and the life you want to create. The journey of breaking free from limitations and external constraints is not just about removing obstacles, but about redefining what is possible. Often, we limit ourselves by what we think we can do or what we believe is achievable, and these limitations are shaped by our upbringing, our environment, and the experiences we've had. From a young age, we are often conditioned by society, family, and even our own fears to stay within certain boundaries, whether those are financial, physical, or emotional. These boundaries create a false sense of security, but they also prevent us from accessing our full potential. The key to breaking free is to realize that these limitations are not inherent truths, but constructs that can be dissolved. Most people, in their quest for safety and predictability, tend to gravitate toward what is comfortable and familiar. But comfort often breeds stagnation. The familiar is the known, and it's easy to remain within that comfort zone because the unknown can feel daunting. However, it's precisely when we step into the unknown that we tap into true growth and possibility. When you push past the limitations of your own fears and doubts, you discover new layers of yourself, strengths, talents, and capabilities that you never knew existed. The process of breaking free from limitations begins with shifting your mindset. Most limitations are mental constructs, beliefs, and thoughts that you've carried with you for years. These beliefs may be rooted in your childhood or based on societal conditioning, and they often go unchallenged. For example, you may have grown up believing that success is only achievable through hard work, or that only certain people are capable of reaching their goals. When you become aware of these beliefs, you have the power to challenge them. By questioning the validity of these limitations, you create space for new possibilities to emerge. Breaking free from limitations also involves recognizing that fear is often the driving force behind the limitations we place on ourselves. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown are all powerful forces that keep us trapped in a cycle of inaction. But fear is not the enemy, it is simply a signal that we are about to stretch beyond our current boundaries. Instead of allowing fear to hold you back, you can choose to see it as a sign that you are on the brink of something greater. Fear, when embraced, becomes an ally in your journey toward growth. The more you face your fears head-on, the less power they have over you, and the more you move beyond the self-imposed limitations they create. Another essential aspect of breaking free from limitations is learning to detach from the need for control. We often place limits on ourselves because we want to predict and control the outcome of every situation. We fear the unknown because we can't foresee what will happen. The beauty of breaking free from limitations is that it requires surrender. It's about trusting that the universe or the natural flow of life will support you in ways you cannot anticipate. When you stop trying to control every outcome, you allow yourself to take bold, inspired actions that are in alignment with your higher purpose. Letting go of the need to control every detail opens you up to limitless possibilities as you begin to move with the flow of life rather than against it. In breaking free, it's important to remember that the only true limits are the ones we place on ourselves. Society may tell us that we can only achieve certain things, but the world is full of stories of people who have defied the odds and created extraordinary lives by thinking beyond conventional boundaries. The people who achieve the most significant success in life are often those who are willing to break free from society's expectations and create their own paths. They understand that life is not a fixed reality, it is fluid, constantly changing and shaped by the choices we make. By choosing to let go of the limits imposed on you, you allow yourself to redefine success and create your own version of what is possible. Breaking free from limitations also means embracing failure as a necessary part of growth. Many people avoid taking risks or stepping outside of their comfort zone because they fear failure. However, failure is not something to be feared, it is a powerful teacher. Every failure brings with it valuable lessons and insights that contribute to your growth. The key is not to let failure define you, but to learn from it and use it as fuel to continue pushing forward. When you embrace failure as a natural and necessary part of the process, you remove the fear that keeps you from taking action and stepping into new opportunities. The more you challenge your limitations and embrace the unknown, the more expansive your life becomes. You begin to experience the world in a different way, one that is filled with possibility and potential rather than limitation. The process of breaking free from these boundaries is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. Every day is an opportunity to confront the limitations that hold you back and choose a different path. As you continue to push beyond your self-imposed boundaries, you will see that the world around you begins to reflect the expansive energy you are cultivating within. The more you break free, the more you realize that there are no real limits, only endless opportunities waiting to be discovered. Breaking free from limitations is about reclaiming your personal power and stepping into the full expression of who you truly are. It's about recognizing that you are capable of far more than you've been led to believe, and that the only boundaries that exist are the ones you accept. By shifting your mindset, embracing fear as a catalyst for growth, letting go of control, and viewing failure as a stepping stone, you can break free from limitations and live a life that is boundless and full of potential. The power to create your reality is always within you. It's time to let go of the limitations and step into the infinite possibilities that await. The journey of self-realization and personal growth is ultimately about embracing the truth of who you are beyond the roles, titles, and labels that society or even you may have placed upon yourself. The key to understanding the law of attraction and manifesting the life you desire lies not in doing, but in simply being. Most people get caught up in the idea that they need to constantly prove their worth by achieving, acquiring, or showing their success. However, true fulfillment and success come not from what you do, but from who you are being in any given moment. We often define ourselves by the actions we take, the accomplishments we achieve, and the recognition we receive. Yet, these external measures of success only represent a small portion of our identity. We are more than our careers, relationships, possessions, or titles. When we base our sense of self on these external factors, we are building an identity that is fragile and constantly subject to change. What happens when we lose a job, a relationship, or a material possession? If our identity is tied to these external circumstances, we can feel lost or disconnected from ourselves. This is why the foundation of self-worth must come from within and not from the outside. When you learn to embody your true self, free from the need for validation or external approval, you begin to access a deeper level of personal power. This power comes from the understanding that your value is inherent, not dependent on what you do or achieve. It's about recognizing that you are worthy simply because you exist. This shift in perspective is transformative because it frees you from the constant need to prove yourself to others. Instead of seeking external validation, you begin to find your validation within. You stop measuring your worth by what you accomplish and start measuring it by how you show up in the world, by how authentic and aligned you are with your true self. This idea is incredibly important when it comes to manifesting your desires. The law of attraction works not because of what you do, but because of the energy you emit. Your energy is a reflection of who you are being in each moment. If you are focused on achieving a goal, working hard to prove yourself, or trying to force outcomes, you may find that you struggle and experience resistance. On the other hand, when you focus on being the person you want to be, embodying the qualities you desire to attract, you begin to align with the energy of the universe. Instead of focusing on doing more or achieving more, you focus on being more in alignment with your highest self, which naturally attracts the people, experiences, and opportunities that resonate with that energy. This process is about letting go of the need to chase after external things to validate your existence. When you shift from a mindset of doing to one of being, you begin to attract what is truly meant for you. You start to attract situations and experiences that align with your authentic self, which often leads to more joy, fulfillment, and success than you could have ever planned for. This shift in perspective is the key to understanding that the universe does not respond to your actions in the way that you might expect. The universe responds to your energy, and your energy is a reflection of who you are being. Many people fall into the trap of thinking that they need to change their circumstances in order to feel worthy or successful. They may think that once they achieve a certain goal or acquire a particular possession, they will finally feel content or at peace. However, this is an illusion. You cannot find peace or fulfillment by doing more. You must find it within yourself first. This is why it is essential to focus on who you are being in each moment. When you are aligned with your true self, you naturally experience peace, abundance, and joy, qualities that are not dependent on external achievements. Being aligned with your true self also means allowing yourself to experience the present moment fully without constantly seeking the next goal or accomplishment. The present moment is where your power lies. The more you are able to be fully present in each moment, the more you align with the flow of life. It is in the present that you can connect with the energy of abundance and begin to manifest the experiences and opportunities that resonate with your highest self. When you are fully present and connected to your inner being, you are no longer in a state of constant striving. Instead, you enter a state of flow where life unfolds naturally and everything you need comes to you effortlessly. True transformation happens when you stop focusing on what you need to do to get ahead and instead focus on who you need to be to embody your highest potential. This does not mean that you stop taking action or pursuing goals. Rather, it means that you act from a place of alignment and authenticity. When you embody your true self, your actions are more intentional, purposeful, and aligned with your inner truth. You no longer need to force outcomes or push yourself to achieve things that don't resonate with who you truly are. You begin to attract the opportunities, relationships, and experiences that are meant for you simply by being who you are. As you practice embodying your true self, you begin to notice that life becomes less about striving and more about allowing. The more you align with your authentic self, the more the universe reflects that back to you. Opportunities arise that match your energy, and your desires are fulfilled more easily. This shift from doing to being is the key to unlocking the law of attraction and creating a life of abundance, joy, and fulfillment. Ultimately, it is not what you do that determines your success, but who you are being in the process. When you align with your true self, you create a life that reflects your highest potential and the abundant energy that you are meant to attract. In conclusion, the journey of personal transformation and self-realization is not about striving to prove who you are to others or about constantly chasing external goals for validation. It is about tapping into the power that resides within you, breaking free from limiting beliefs, and aligning with your true self. The key to manifesting the life you desire lies in understanding that your worth is not defined by what you do, but by who you are being. When you embrace your authentic self, free from the constraints of external expectations, you create the space for true growth, fulfillment, and success to flow effortlessly into your life. By shifting your mindset, cultivating conscious awareness, and letting go of fear and control, you begin to break down the walls that have kept you from experiencing your full potential. The more you step into the unknown and trust the process of life, the more you attract opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your highest purpose. You no longer have to chase after success or validation because success is a natural byproduct of living authentically. The law of attraction responds not to what you do, but to the energy you emit. When you align with your true self, the world around you begins to mirror that alignment. Every step you take from a place of authenticity and inner strength moves you closer to the life you were always meant to live. So, let go of the limitations that hold you back, trust in your own potential, and allow the universe to support you as you create a life that reflects your deepest desires and truest essence.